Hey everybody, how's it going? And today I'm going to be reviewing Pop Smoke's first and most likely his final studio album, Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon. If you don't know, Pop Smoke passed away about 4 months ago and was a really rough hit in the hip hop community, especially because we had lost Juice WRLD 2 months previous. We were losing a lot of up and comers in the rap game, and I am one to say that I never really got into Pop Smoke's music, as I just didn't really find a sense to listen to him because there were so many artists that were blowing up at the time. But I did get a lot of requests to do this album, so instead of the Make Them Suffer out review that I was going to post, I'm going to be posting this. This is actually going to be my first time listening to Pop Smoke, so I may be a little ignorant to the issue of how his music sounds before. And posthumous albums can be a really good thing, such as David Bowie's Black Star or Mac Miller's Circles, or it can be a travesty like Bad Vibes Forever, or literally everything that Lil Peep has released since Come Over When You're Sober Part 2. So without further ado, let's pop right into this album. So we start off the album with Bad Bitch from Tokyo, which is the intro track. Now the album starts really coincidental, as he starts talking about just some normal stuff that he enjoys in taste, but then he says a very crazy line: "I looked my killer in the eyes, yeah, I'm talking face to face." And the fact that we start the album off like this, like he's talking to us from the grave, it can either make or break this album. Just the elephant in the room that, you know, that he's gone, it just provides such an eerie sense to it. And then we move on to the next track, which I don't know how to feel about, Aim for the Moon featuring Quavo. The song kind of has Quavo and Pop Smoke talking about their high aspirations as rappers, and it's very disappointing to hear Pop Smoke having these big dreams and giving even more praise in the rap game. And Quavo delivers a pretty solid verse, but what gives me mixed feelings about this song is the chorus, as Quavo, who's auto-tuned of course, and Pop Smoke harmonize singing the title of the album. And Pop Smoke's voice isn't so bad to get behind, but I feel as if the harmonies are off, like Quavo is singing in like the wrong key. But other than that, it's a somewhat decent track. But then the next track I actually really enjoy, which is For the Night featuring Lil Baby and DaBaby. While if you listen to this song for the first time, you would think it's just a stereotypical boasting wealth song, but it's actually delivered a lot better than just a normal brag rap song. I feel like brag rap could work really well if you deliver a great cadence and you can deliver the confidence that you have. The instrumental is very uplifting and it's very soothing with this very like psychedelic beat, and it works really well with Pop Smoke's very baritone voice. And it seems like DaBaby and Lil Baby get the point of the song and they follow the flows really well, besides a few moments where DaBaby kind of like falls off from the beat, but he does recover relatively quickly from it. And the Babies, as I'm going to call them, did their verses after Smoke's death, as Lil Baby wishes Smoke he could see him rising up in the ranks, and DaBaby closes off his verse with a rest in peace to Pop. And the next song is actually a very interesting subject, 44 Bulldog. The song is just so disturbing. The fact that it's named after a double action revolver, and there's a lot of disturbing callbacks and almost art imitating life, as he talks so much about death, and it's just so ironic and just eerie that he predicted it. The song is also a pretty solid song regardless. I like Smoke's flow over his verses, and I do enjoy the fact that Smoke does this thing that a lot of old school rappers do. They kind of start an intro repeating and just getting himself hyped up and then move on to the chorus. Something I don't see a lot of people doing nowadays, and the beat is pretty solid too, using this hard drum line mixed with this really soothing piano beat. Something you can find in a lot of the first half of this album, and if you can get any more eerie, he literally ends the song with the line, "Know some dudes that'll shoot you for nothing." You can probably imply what I mean here. And we switch over to some more drill time as we move to Gangstas. Well, we start the song with a shot at 6ix9ine, so that's something. He also kind of draws parallels to fake gangs by rapping about his actual gang crew that he had in New York. And I don't want to mention how many times I hear him talking about being shot, so I'm gonna stop there unless there's something exceptional. But he just kind of moves along with just one verse. And by the way that Smoke delivers his lines and how he makes his songs, it gives me a lot of memories of old school hip hop, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Ja Rule, 50 Cent. Like, he was only 20 years old, and I actually really enjoy and kind of admire his very low voice over these old school piano beats. It gives me like a sense of nostalgia, the way that he can reminisce old school hip hop in the way that he did. And I do enjoy when rappers talk about their life stories and experiences from their life, and even though this one is a relatively short song, it's still a good listen, unlike the next few tracks of it's whatever. Compared to the other songs on this album, this one isn't really that memorable. The next song is called Creature featuring Swae Lee, and it had the potential to be really good, but the thing that brings this song down is Swae Lee. I think that Swae can deliver some solid features, see Sunflower or Unforgettable, but on this song, he just doesn't have the best delivery or performance here. Like, he seems a lot more bored, if anything, on this track. But besides that, Pop delivers a pretty solid verse, giving some really good lines and some good wordplay. And even though this song doesn't really have a main purpose, I would re-listen just for the verse. But I'd probably skip over Swae's part. And if you guys would like rats, you'll like the next track, Snitchin', featuring Quavo and Future. Well, 6ix9ine is probably pissed. The song is most likely a shot at about 6ix9ine being a rat, and Quavo kind of delivers a pretty lazy chorus. Like, I would say that this is a diss track towards 6ix9ine, but he doesn't really say anything that well besides, like, Quavo, he mentions, I ain't gonna mention his name, but if you do, it's like that, then it's over. So you could probably tell that it's probably about 6ix9ine, but the whole gimmick about the song is that he's a snitch, and then when Pop comes in, and none of them really diss 6ix9ine, they just kind of call him a snitch, and we've already heard that joke 1,000 times already. And I think Future does the best performance on the song. He's got a really energetic and quicker flow than Quavo and Smoke, and I think it fits the very upbeat beat, other than it's a very subpar song. But then we get a hit of a 5-hour energy into us with Make It Rain, featuring Rowdy Rebel. This song is just a fucking banger. This song just really gives me these like Madden NFL style beats, but it's a hard ass beat, mixed in with Smoke delivering some pretty good rhyme schemes during the verse, and the flows I really enjoy as well. Even though the fact that he used some lines off of Lil Tjay's New York in the chorus is kind of lazy. If I can get past that, it's a pretty solid rap banger from Smoke. And I should also mention that they got Rowdy Rebel to deliver a verse from jail. Only 5 months until he and Shmurda are out, and then the world will be alright again. And surprisingly, Rebel does a great job over the beat and sticks to the beat surprisingly well. I had never listened to Rowdy before this, so I didn't know what to expect. And it wasn't bad for the first verse I've ever listened to by him. And even though Rebel isn't having fun with Bobby Shmurda, we moved to some bros just being dudes in the Woo, featuring Roddy Ricch and 50 Cent. Holy shit, this is a collaboration that I never thought I would want to see, but I'm so glad that we did. I mean, this song is just really fun. Like, there's no underlying meaning under this. Like, it references the alliances of the Bloods and the Crips, but Smoke kind of turned that into like this underlying meaning of being bougie and full of finesse, talking about luxury, sex, and swag. And you can definitely tell everyone on this song had a lot of fun making it. The chorus is very repetitious, but it is catchy and it's not ear-grating to listen to. Roddy Ricch delivers a solid verse with his signature singing voice and R&B delivery mixed with being very energetic. But then 50 Cent comes in and just makes it even better by comparison, and has some really great wordplay that I enjoy, and I do enjoy the references to G-Unit's Gangstas shit, 50 Cent's Hate It or Love It, and Candy Shop in Pop Smoke's verse, which I found really funny. It's a pretty solid buddy track, and as we move on to the next song, West Coast Shit, the beat is fun, nothing too special. Literally we do not need Quavo on this album 3 times if I'm being honest. Like, plus I'm pretty sure Smoke has mentioned Dior in almost half of the songs at this point. Like, the only song I could remember that I've listened to by Smoke as I'm reading my script was Dior, and that was the bonus track. So if that was his whole gimmick, I don't really understand. We move on to one of my least favorite tracks on the album, which is Enjoy Yourself featuring Karol G. It's another track I don't really care much for, just talking about women, and that's it. Plus, it doesn't help the fact that the feature is in Spanish, and the lyrics still don't convey a topic that we haven't heard all throughout the album thus far. And then we move on to some Mood Swings featuring Lil Tjay. Pretty spicy song from these two. Like, we got this very like mid-2000s R&B type instrumental, and even though I do not listen to a lot of songs about sex, there's something about this song I really enjoy. I think maybe it's because it gave me memories of like early hip-hop like Boys to Men, and Pop Smoke's very low voice is very smooth, and I could see some girls getting into the mood from this song. And even though it could get a little bit vulgar in Smoke's verses, I think he does a great job. And Tjay I really enjoyed. This beat really fits Tjay's vocal style, and he's a little bit more subtle and a little bit more wholesome with his lyrics, until the last part where he kind of reiterates his lines from the outro of his song Resume. But I think it fits very well with the song, and he delivered some very solid lines, so I'll give it a pass for now. And the beat for the song is very smooth and sensual as well, which I believe besides the verses is a reason why this song works so well. And to prove his versatility, we move later in the track list with Something Special. This song kind of gives me more of an idea of how versatile Pop Smoke was, as he samples Fabulous's Into You, and Pop Smoke I believe doesn't have an amazing singing voice, but I think he can deliver a solid melody. This is something I think everyone will be listening to all summer. Like, the whole album has been more about gangsta shit and drill time songs, but as we move further into the album, we just get this more of like summer vibes, like very chill vibes, talking about, you know, his more loving side and his more sensual side of himself. He reminisces about girls from his adolescence and the love that he had for them, just kind of going back on his nostalgia feel over this very uplifting beat. And it's a solid summer track, and I think people should give it a listen. And we're going to question our romance with the next track, which is What You Know About Love, and we move into an even more lovey track. As this time now he's talking about a special woman, and I think that Pop Smoke's delivery on this song in the chorus is probably the best thing in it, because it reminds me of Mood Swings, as it's more based on the sexual side of the relationship. So it's not like I just didn't hear this song, and I think this song is like a solid song, but if I had to choose, I would just choose Mood Swings over this song. And then next track, same subject, Diana featuring King Combs, and we got P. Diddy on the track instead of Lil Tjay. And he's probably the best part of this song. I think his feature kind of saves it, but honestly I wouldn't listen to it because that's this song. The next track, Got It On Me. We got a pretty fucking awesome track here, as he samples Many Men by 50 Cent. And why the fuck did we not get more songs like this? Smoke is very versatile with his flows in this track, and the chorus also at times just reminds me of old 2000s hip-hop. And the beat really backs up his lyrics and his delivery. Like, Pop Smoke is probably one of those artists I can say have a really great understanding of what gangsta rap really is. And I think that's why he went after 6ix9ine, because in my opinion, I think that Pop Smoke think that 6ix9ine is just a very fake rapper. Plus, this song is just full of solid deliveries and flows, and I'm surprised we didn't get more tracks like this, or even like 44 Bulldog. I think Smoke sounds best over these old school beats. And as we move to the conclusion of the album, Tunnel Vision, which is the outro, damn man, this song is possibly one of the biggest emotion-filled songs. Not even from Pop Smoke, but just from his fans. First, we start off with another old school beat, and Smoke delivers some solid bars about not trusting people and not really fucking with anyone because clout is a disease, and how he and anyone else can shoot you in 1 second. You can also imply what happened here. He was getting to the top of the rap game, and he was starting to, get the mainstream attention that everyone wants to get, and it was just cut so short. Pop Smoke was starting to get the fame that he rightfully deserved, and it just so happens that everything was cut so untimely because of the motherfucker who broke in and killed him. And then we conclude the track with an interview clip where the interviewer asks, what does he want to be remembered by? And he says, Pop Smoke came in and showed them dudes a new vibe. The whole sound, the whole vibe, the whole movement. Different. And then we concluded with him saying, forever my heart, forever my dogs. We still gonna put it on for you. The smoke will never clear. Never. And it's very upsetting, but also uplifting due to the fact that he's gone. But we still end the album on a happy note, as we hear him say that the smoke will never clear. Very, very moving, and it says a lot for his fans and everyone who supported him. My final thoughts on this album. I felt as if this album did not have many different subject matters, and the album was just very split in two. I could probably say if you can cut, one side, most of the album was bragging and talking about being a G, but then the next half is just more of an R&B approach, and even though I do enjoy versatility of rappers over a bunch of different beats on one album, I feel like the two halves of these albums could have been split into two separate albums. There's maybe only 2 subjects, or maybe 3 that he raps about all over this track, all over this album. There was not enough old school beats and not a lot of 50 Cent-esque deliveries that he was delivering. I think that when he goes over some old school hip hop, I believe his flows and vocals are a lot more powerful over these instrumentals. And the best features, probably Rowdy Rebel, Lil Baby, DaBaby, Roddy Ricch, 50 Cent, and Lil Tjay. And speaking of features, a lot of features on this album. Some of them I believe we just didn't need. We had way too much Quavo on this album. Literally all of the songs featuring Quavo I didn't enjoy that much, and I feel we could have had much different features as well. Maybe Polo G, Takeoff, and maybe even Anderson .Paak. So many opportunities for different features and provide more insight into how different Pop Smoke was from the hip hop game. You could probably cut this album in half and I would believe the album is so much better. There's this weird trend of posthumous albums being filled with features because there's so many unfinished songs. And even though we did have a lot of features, I feel as if the good ones overtake the bad ones. And the fact that we have this elephant in the room and almost a foreshadowing of his murder on maybe 5 or 6 tracks on the album, I think that it's a shame that Pop Smoke was just taken from this world so young. He was still finding his sound and getting himself up in the game. And I believe he could have made so much more hits. And You know, even though this album wasn't the best and it wasn't the worst, but the good does outshine the bad, and that's why I'm going to be rating this album a solid 6 out of 10. I hope you guys enjoyed. You know, considering this was the first time I listened to Pop Smoke, I didn't know what to expect going into it, but I would say that I would have to listen to his recent albums that he dropped earlier in the year to kind of get a more of a feel of what he was rapping about. And I hope you guys enjoyed. You know, even though I already have the Make Them Suffer video rendered, so I don't know when I'm going to be posting that. This video is probably going to be posted before the Make Them Suffer video. Let me know what you guys thought of this album. Also, I have a Spotify playlist where if you want to listen to the albums that I plan to review or may listen to in the future, that will be in the description below. And I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you all later.